Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge Review Series 4, the 5th of April, 1987. They are right after WrestleMania 3 here, and without a doubt, probably the single biggest wrestling event in the history of the sport. Still to this day, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people are in the, maybe it's the WrestleMania 17 in 2001, or from a buy rate standpoint, certainly it may not be the biggest thing um, in since WrestleMania 23 may have done better. But I'm sorry, if you go to a non wrestling fan, even today, and you say, "Tell me about wrestling," they will talk about Hogan and Andre if they are even remotely a fan, or even casual people over, let's say, the age of 30, they'll talk about Hogan Andre, even if they were never fans. But we move to the Islanders, Toma and Haku. Obviously, they are still baby faces here right after the WrestleMania 3 run, facing an enhancement match. Very athletic guys, actually, at this juncture of their careers. Big body slams there. Islanders talking about kind of moving on to face the Hearts, which could be good. Lots of back and forth. Tama is a guy that I really enjoyed a lot out of. Leaping headbutt there by him, and just kind of an interesting run that he never beyond the Islanders thing did a great deal in the wrestling business. Even though I would consider him to be one of the bigger forces in the family. Haku, of course, still, he might even still take indie bookings if not for the pandemic. I don't really know. I know he took bookings a few years ago, but he hits a couple of drop kicks in here. El Navarro and another enhancement talent providing the run. And I mean, they with the Hart Foundation, a couple of years before I became a fan, but they with the Hart Foundation had a good series of matches here, hard shots, and some tag offs, and ultimately, Haku does the majority of the heavy lifting. Tama comes in for your bigger, more notable spots. Clothesline there by Tama, and again, heads to the top rope. Tama comes off with the big splash after a vertical suplex. 1, 2, 3, and the Islanders are successful. Randy Savage kind of talks about being frustrated at not being the Intercontinental Champion anymore, wants to get the championship back, obviously losing the belt to none other than Ricky Steamboat. They do a 3-minute or so piece on the return of Ken Patera, his Olympic work, his Pan Am Games work, the fact that he was in prison, the tie-in with Bobby Heenan as they we've got about a year out of Patera here fighting the Heenan family. Honky Tonk Man up next in an enhancement match. Obviously, Honky Tonk Man coming off of WrestleMania 3 and the match with Jake Roberts, which was relatively inconclusive. They went around the horn when Roberts wasn't injured. Roberts, of course, to this day still claims that his neck was permanently injured by the Honky Tonk Man with the guitar shot in the snake pit, which I believe we will actually cover here in the next few deals. CV Afi is the opponent. A little bit more of a open match here. Open meaning that they are moving towards a resolution. Needless to say, Afi does quite well. Honky comes off, does a good bit of selling. Actually, that's the majority of what he does. Takes a couple of body slams and the like. Nothing really major, but at the same time, for the time period, the continuation of motion, a really big thing in this match. Honky Tonk Man talks about wanting to be the best singer he can in an inset promo, and also getting more even with Jake Roberts. Does the snapback, does the Honky Tonk Man. Jimmy Hart on the outside, of course, managing HTM. This is a couple of months, maybe a little bit over under 2 months from Honky picking up the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, your commentators here. And without a doubt, Honky is, hits an effective neck snap. Boom, boom, boom. Honky is certainly extra confident. He challenges just about anybody. Hits the shake, rattle, and roll. Gets the victory here, and without a doubt, Honky Tonk Man is rolling along to victory. We move relatively quickly into uh, another opportunity, and in this particular deal, we have an Outback Jack promo. Outback Jack coming in, kind of doing the Crocodile Dundee ripoff. Almost said Cactus Jack, but no, not anywhere near. Uh, Crocodile Dundee ripoff deal. He's here for about 2 years. Just missed seeing him when I became a fan. He left in '89 and maybe '90, but he wasn't here very long. He basically talks about Hulk Hogan helping him learn all he needs to learn, including lifting weights and being at his best. Pretty major deal there, without a doubt. And um, then Billy Jack Haynes. Haynes, who leaves in the summer of '87 after being pushed pretty heavily. The Gladiator, Ricky Hunter in a mask. One of my favorite enhancement talents, to be completely honest. Um, just a pretty big deal there. Um, so, kind of see a push off, kind of see a little bit of with the tie up, some brawling. Hunter takes over on Billy Jack pretty easily. Doesn't necessarily get much with him because Billy Jack doesn't leave his feet very much here during this time period. I still think Billy Jack Haynes, if he had more, mental stability and emotional stability, along with a clearer vision, could have easily been a bigger deal in the area. Hits a knee lift, among other things. They are prepping him for a run with Butch Reed in the local house shows. Not exactly something that most people would write home about. Reed still gets the, I'm sorry, Haynes still gets the full Nelson. Pretty big deal for him. Then we go to another inset promo. Danny Davis does a good bit of complaining about his frustrations with being suspended, although he says he doesn't care, and he goes on pretty aggressively about that. Davis, of course, coming off of the biggest match of his career, the six-man tag WrestleMania 3, with the Hearts against Santana and the Bulldogs. Anyway, Kamala up next with Kim Shi. Still haven't found a full run for Kamala. Sam Cody providing the enhancement talent opposition here. Punch, punch, kick, kick, chop, chop by Kamala. Kamala eventually hits the big splash. By this point, though, I think they had pumped him through Hogan, or soon thereafter pumps him through Hogan, and that's a pretty big deal. Then we go to the Snake Pit, which to me must have been recorded before WrestleMania 3 because, well, maybe right after, but Roberts has a relatively inconsequential interview with Blackjack Mulligan. They spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about the WWF ice cream bars. Good product placement for sure, but not exactly something you're going to tune in to see if you haven't. Joe Murto facing off against Outlaw Ron Bass. Bass never really hit in the WWF for my taste. He was just kind of there. Other than the beefcake thing to finish him up, I don't really remember him doing much feud-wise. Punch kick into the buckle, lots of things. Modified pedigree is your finish from him, and certainly very modified, but still. He's a big deal at the time. Certainly had much better runs in Southern Territories, Texas, and the like, other territories as well. Just never really hit here. Gene Okerlund does a several minute long WrestleMania report giving all of the post WrestleMania gossip and such. We go back to enhancement talent matches in a little bit. I mean, they literally gave probably 6 to 7 minutes to the to that run. The new Dream Team, which of course is Dino Bravo with black hair. Don't know why he dyed his hair here. Actually, wait, Dino had black hair 1st and then dies blonde around 88 or so. But Valentine and Bravo, the new Dream Team, managed by Johnny Valiant, Johnny V, coming off of the WrestleMania 3 babyface turn of what would become Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I don't know if they referred to him as the Barber quite this quickly after WrestleMania, but he certainly is a babyface. Irish whip by Valentine. Valentine gets caught with a drop kick under the chin and a couple of things there. Actually, this ends up being a singles match. Santana and Valentine, which they had had, quite a, or actually no, enhancement talent that kind of looks like Santana, but they had quite a run, and the Dream Team, new Dream Team thing doesn't really get over. It's there for maybe 6 months, if that, and then Valentine splits off on his own and goes with Jimmy Hart and new management and all of that for the next several years. In any event, we kind of go back around, and the enhancement talent gets a few offensive maneuvers, snaps the leg back, snaps the neck back, and a snap mare. Eventually, Valentine, of course, wins with the figure 4. Another promo from Danny Davis, who basically tries to intimidate Gene Okerlund as we close this particular edition of Wrestling Challenge. We'll be back with more right after this.